So, Jafe, tell me about your hatred for streaming services and what you like about them, what you heavily dislike about them to make you truly hate them in every way, shape, or form. Tell me everything. What do you think?
Honestly, I am just really tired of like all these streaming services being around, and like back then it used to just be Netflix and then everything was on there, and now it's just like spread around to all these other places that I would just never use. So it's just really just getting tiresome and annoying.
Yeah, I think it is. It was great when there was like just Netflix. Back in like 2010, 2011, everything was on Netflix. I remember getting Netflix on like the Wii back in the day, just downloading that. And the Wii couldn't even play DVD, so being able to actually just view anything but like the weather channel on the Wii was insane. That was like one of the coolest things ever. And it was a really cool thing, especially when Netflix was mainly only known for sending DVDs through the mail at the time, just having pretty much their entire catalog of movies available to stream was insane. But the problem was everybody realized the value in that, and now we're in the worst timeline possible. The worst thing that could have happened. We have like 10 streaming services. Oh no. Ugh, so so I have a list of various streaming services here, and I just kind of want to rank them based on which one is the best, which one is the worst, and which ones are in the middle. Now we could start with Netflix, but I think it's more interesting to start with the bench warmers, if you will. What do you think about Apple TV Plus? I personally have never used Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, I used it a few times. Like, there were a few movies I wanted to see on it, like, about a year ago. So I just went on there, watched the movies, and then I was like, wow, there's nothing else, really. Like, I don't know. I've heard there's some good TV shows, too. I just didn't check them out. But, there's really, like, no back catalog. Like, what does Apple, like, own?
Peanuts, and that really did not work out for them because there was, like, outcry when, it was like they started Apple TV, they owned the license to those old specials, and that was going to be like the first year that those specials didn't air on TV, and there were riots, if you will. Absolute anarchy. So I think that's like the only thing. It's really weird. I think Apple needs to get down and dirty and just give people what they want, which is just garbage. People want garbage, but they want class. They want class. They don't want to get other people's content. They just want to be like, hey, we have these classic things here, and only the best content, where Netflix is just absolutely rolling in dough because they're putting out garbage like Love is Blind and just all these random reality shows with 20-somethings cheating on each other. It is like that's how you make your money. I feel like Apple TV just doesn't really have the amount of content that it needs, but I think it's priced accordingly. It's like $5 a month, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's not bad.
You also get it with new Apple products, maybe. I think that was like at least the deal they had going on for a little bit. I just think Apple TV is not exciting.
No, definitely not.
I think a C. I think a B around. I think a C. I think a C makes sense for Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, like C, high C, probably.
It just kind of feels like another vessel for like Apple to like say we won Emmys or something as well. We won Emmys, and they also wasn't the Best Picture winner of 2022 on Apple TV.
Yeah, Coda. That was a really good movie, but yeah, that's so weird to think about, that like the first streaming service to have a Best Picture winner is Apple TV Plus. Like,
yeah, why isn't it Tubi? Have you ever used Tubi?
Yeah, everyone's favorite.
I think it's pretty good. It's free. It's free.
Can't argue with that.
I mean, there's some junk on there. Like, it is bad, but every now and then, I mean, like, if you go on Tubi right now, you will see like something that's just like, well, that's an actual movie. Yeah. And then there'll be like a bunch of films based on Roblox or something if you scroll down, but like there's some actual content. Have you ever used Tubi?
Yeah, actually, we have this thing in a Discord server with my friends. Every Saturday night we'll do what we call Wheel Night, where we went on Tubi, we found like the worst looking movies we could possibly find.
Yeah.
And like with the dumbest titles or like the worst posters. We put them all on a wheel, like a virtual wheel that we spin to then decide like what terrible movie we're gonna watch that night. So Tubi has given us so many great gifts over the past year.
Me and my friends do a very similar thing. Tubi is kind of our safety net. You know, it's just like if we don't know what bad movie we want to watch, Tubi has something.
Yeah.
Or it might actually have like a genuinely good movie. I'm on Tubi right now on my phone. I mean, you have the Angry Birds movie on there right now for free.
Yeah.
You just might have to watch like 20 ads between it, but
Yeah.
that's not a bad deal. You get the Casper movie. You get Here
Whoa.
Comes the Boom starring Kevin James. Son of the Mask. You get to watch Son of the Mask on Tubi. No other streaming service is that brave. But then you get
Incredible.
get the Ant Bully. You get
Ooh.
all this content. The Iron Giant, which is an actual movie. You see,
Yeah.
Tubi has a little bit of everything. That's what I like about it. It has what Netflix is too scared to have.
Yeah.
Which is what I like about it. There is a bunch of junk on there, like a bunch of low budget bad movies.
Oh yeah.
But it's free, so I can't honestly, this might be shocking.
Yeah, wait.
But I might give it an A.
I was thinking that too. Like, Tubi has just given me and my friends so many gifts over the years. Like, I don't know. I'm happy with Tubi for what it is.
It's one of my favorites. It's one of my all-time favorites. Now, in addition, this one, I don't even know if it's much of a streaming. It is a streaming service, but it's kind of in the same wheelhouse of Tubi. We got Pluto TV. Have you ever tried Pluto TV?
I have not tried that one.
This one is cool. It's internet TV. They have their own little channels. They have like a whole Hell's Kitchen channel. They just have a bunch of channels of like stuff that they're just like, all right, like Viacom owns it, so they're like, all right, we own a bunch of these properties. All right, let's make a channel based on Green Acres. Let's make a channel, and it's like, if I recall, the commercials are placed in weird spots. Like it's like 2 minutes into an episode or something, a commercial will play, and then a commercial won't play for like another 15 minutes, and you know it's weird. It's not like the commercials sometimes don't even fit where it's like, oh, the commercial break goes in a show, but I think Pluto TV, since I am the only person in the room with an opinion on Pluto TV, I'll give it a B. No further questions.
Sounds good.
AMC Plus. Where does AMC Plus lie?
All I know about it is after Better Call Saul ended, a bunch of people, like, in a mass exodus, like, canceled their AMC Plus subscription. Like, I don't know anything else that's on there. Outside of Slippin' Jimmy, which is the greatest TV show ever, obviously.
Slippin' Jimmy. I've only seen like YouTube essays about it.
Yeah, same.
And can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
What happened there?
I don't know.
Like-
I can't believe that's real. Like,
The concept for like because like Better Call Saul, they did those little tiny whatever scripted little skit promos sometimes where they're like, oh, Mike's making a sandwich. Like, it's just like, or Lalo makes a taco, or anything like that. So it's just like, if it was kind of formed like that and they just threw like a couple little shorts on their YouTube channel, whatever. But like, they're advertising that as their own series, and like, they're in like a behind the scenes portion for like a behind the scenes little video for season 6. They had Howard Hamlin say it's just like, and you can watch Slippin' Jimmy on AMC Plus. The story continues, or something like that.
oh, wow.
I'm just like what's going on here? I don't get
It's
it.
a crucial part of the Breaking Bad universe.
Which I just had like the streaming TV apps, like YouTube TV, and that's how I watched that show. But AMC definitely has its fans with like, you know, you had Better Call Saul and that ended, so it's just like, all right, well now it's just what, The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
guess
just
that's
like
it.
if you're really into that. Which I feel like a lot of people were the same thing, where they were really into it like 10 years ago for 2-3 seasons.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, this is the same thing every single episode. It's never ending. It's just the same thing. Oh, zombies. Oh, let's move to another place.
no.
Oh, zombies. Let's move to another
Whoa.
place. Somebody dies. I don't know.
Can't believe
I don't
it.
know. AMC is something where I'm kind of like, I think they banked on AMC Plus kind of being a, like they have a couple popular shows that are popular with people that just don't have cable. So they're like,
Yeah.
all right, let's do that. But then, like, their shows, at least like a good, some of their shows are so good that they know when to end, with, something like Better Call Saul. And I think they kind of it's just like, what's the point after that? Like, Better Call Saul is also on Netflix. The first 5 seasons, and season 6 will probably be on Netflix eventually, but still, I don't know. I think we'll put this in the bottom of the barrel at this point. The only thing I know that's on AMC Plus is Slippin' Jimmy. That's it. So
yeah, a masterpiece, but it can't save it.
I'll put it down there.
I didn't even watch the last season of Better Call Saul on AMC Plus. I just rented it from like Amazon. Like there's no reason to get AMC Plus. It's a little sad.
It's pretty bad. I would say I would say if there's a tier lower than D, it might go there, but that's just being a little rude. How about Amazon Prime Video? Where does that go?
I don't know. Like, I've only watched, like, the only show I've seen on there is Invincible, and that was really good. I've heard The Boys is good. I have not heard, I guess that Lord of the Rings show now, but, like, I haven't heard anything else about, like, Amazon Originals. Plus, it's like, it's like when I go on there, it's some of the stuff, like, they don't differentiate between stuff that's, like, free for the service and stuff that you have to, like, rent or buy from Amazon. So it's like, I don't really go there to like browse like something to watch because there's a chance that it might end up being something I have to rent. So it's like it's just kind of a messy service that doesn't have a lot of great stuff in my opinion.
Amazon reminds me a lot of Facebook, where it's just like there's just pick a lane, man.
Yeah.
like it's just like, my God, there's too much stuff. You go on Facebook and it's just like it's eBay. It's a streaming site. It's a video platform.
Really?
It's way too much stuff, and that's why I think old people love it because they don't understand. Like it's just like sometimes it's better to get just a sponge instead of like a 4-in-1 towel or something, or something like that. I don't know. I do appreciate how, technically speaking, if you want to take the rentals and all that stuff into consideration, you have pretty much every single movie known to man on that thing, if you're willing to pay $3 for some of them. But when it comes to things actually available as a part of your Prime membership, I think it's pretty lacking in terms of like non-original stuff. Now, in terms of original stuff, like, I haven't really watched any major Amazon Prime originals, but I do know that a lot of them are quality. A lot of them are like really, big shows. But man, like the Amazon Prime interface or the Prime Video interface is just so stupid. It's just clunky. Yeah. Like you have the biggest company on the planet. They don't know how to make a video player. Like it's bad. It is bad. I think most people who have Prime Video don't have Prime Video because they want Prime Video. They just already had Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that's how I am. Like I would not pay for Prime Video if it was separate.
Yeah, me neither. So it's just like as a little bonus, as I'm viewing it as kind of a bonus I get by being an Amazon Prime member, which I would be anyways because I love that shipping is just delicious, Yeah. So I'm just like, you know what? I think it could deserve a B. I think it's Pluto TV adjacent.
Yeah,
where
that sounds about right.
It's good enough, as in like it has a lot of really quality shows that I haven't watched yet, but shows nonetheless, and some movies too. They have a lot of stuff in terms of like licensed stuff. Like it feels kind of like a lot of the movies that aren't made by Amazon that are just kind of like available on Amazon Prime Video feel very Tubi-like sometimes, like in terms of quality, not very good. But I digress. I think it deserves to be right alongside Pluto. So moving on. What do you think about Hulu? I need to hear like the general like what's there to say? Is there a rant incoming? Is there praise coming?
Nah, honestly, Hulu's one of my like blind spots when it comes to streaming services. Like I have not used it very much at all. Like I got it as like a student discount when I was in college a few years back, but like even then I really didn't have like much use for it. Like there's not really many like movies on there I wanted to see, or like exclusives, or like stuff I couldn't see like on other services. Like I don't know, like I don't have much of an opinion on Hulu. Like
Yeah, you know what? I don't have much to say about Hulu other than I'm proud of them.
yeah.
The only thing, the main thing I remember about Hulu is like back in the early days of YouTube, is just like how Hulu was like the home to like random like Simpsons clips and random like Family Guy clips, where it's just like they had their YouTube channel and they have the little Hulu whatever logo pop up and they have a little banner at the bottom and all that junk. That's how I remember Hulu. And Hulu was originally like a place to watch like shows like the day after they air and all that, and then it had to become like a Netflix competitor. And I think overall like it's probably like second to Netflix in terms of just sheer variety and just the amount of stuff and originals and like pre-existing content, all of that. I just never liked the interface. I felt like the interface is a little too like it's just not user friendly, whereas Netflix, like everything is just really like well laid out. It's easy to just scroll through it very quickly and know what you're going through, whereas Hulu is just this unappealing green that appears on your TV in the middle of the night. But it has a lot in terms of TV shows, movies, all of that, and you can also get streaming TV through it, which is good. I also like that it does give you options. You do have ad options, which is kind of like, it's just like, oh man, ads, but hey, cheaper. It's just like some people don't care about ads. I feel like I've upgraded. I've been using like YouTube Premium since like 2016, mainly because I tried a free trial and I never forgot to end it. But now I'm a little too deep and I don't think I can go back. But I feel like I feel like I don't know what's going on in the world right now because I don't see commercials very often. So
Yeah,
it's a little rough.
I'm the same way. I've had YouTube Premium for a while, and I just like don't see all these ads that everyone else complains about.
It's one of the most embarrassing streaming subscription services to say I'm a part of.
Yeah,
I'm just like, I pay for YouTube Premium. It's just like, all right, what do you get out of that? I get to close my phone and listen to the video.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm like, all right.
I don't know.
I don't get ads, and it's the same price as Netflix. But I don't know. I can't complain much. I've been a subscriber for way too long to be like, oh.
Same. Like I can't go back to YouTube with ads. Like I'm content now.
But I think Hulu. I'm thinking around the B's, maybe low A, but I don't know. I'm like you. I haven't done enough with Hulu to really say if it's an A. So I'd say a high B.
Yeah,
high B.
That sounds good.
It does the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about Paramount Plus?
Oh my God.
The Demon King himself.
I honestly just hate Paramount Plus. Like, I got a free trial just so my girlfriend and I could watch the Tony Awards. So, I mean, I guess it has that going for it. Like, they streamed the Tonys. That's nice. But, I don't know. There was just, like, nothing on there when I was, like, browsing through it, seeing what's on there. Like, if you want to watch a Nickelodeon show, then there you go. It's for that. But, I don't know. There really wasn't much else.
It's pretty much just, like, a Nickelodeon hub. Like, to me, as in like, oh man, I want to watch an old Nickelodeon show for some reason. Boom, Paramount Plus. That makes sense. Outside of that, like, I guess Viacom owns like Comedy Central. So CBS, you get all the classic CBS shows.
Ooh.
But even then, HBO Max, I think, has the licensing deal to a lot of like Viacom owned stuff. Like, I think The Big Bang Theory. Oh man, is on HBO Max. I think I've seen that in like HBO Max ads, so I think it's on there. But I think that's a Viacom owned show because that is CBS. I know CBS when I see it. So I think that's CBS, and I know HBO Max has like South Park and stuff, and that's Viacom too. So it's kind of like Paramount Plus can't even get what they actually have. So
yeah,
I think they're mainly just like it feels like Paramount Plus I feel like they at least kind of warrant having all that stuff, just because like Nickelodeon is such a big entity of like just having all that huge back catalog and the continuing stuff. The Paramount Plus originals, especially that they're doing of like the Nickelodeon stuff. You have like Camp Coral, the SpongeBob spinoff. Then you also have the Fairly Odd Parents, Fairly Odder, which I watched that whole damn show.
Oh, really?
I had to see it through to the end. Do you ever watch like some of those like really bad like kids sitcoms or something just to be like, I just need to see something bad.
Yeah, sometimes.
Like, I just need to watch something like this.
Yeah, my friends and I did try watching the Fairly Odd Parents reboot, but we couldn't get past the first episode. Like, it was just so bad.
I needed to see how bad it got.
Yeah.
They have a musical number at the end starring
Oh,
Crocker.
man. Oh, wow.
Real life Crocker, too.
Ooh.
I love the animation.
Oh,
the animation
yeah.
was awesome in the show. I love it.
We saw clips of the animation. It was something.
I had to experience it. Paramount Plus's original programming, other than that, like the only one I can think of is that Halo show. I know nothing about it other than like it's a little weird. There's a bunch of Star Trek content. It feels kind of like Paramount Plus is going like the Disney Plus strategy with like all the Star Wars content. Disney Plus and Disney in general is kind of trying to pump out, mainly because they're really trying to milk like a dedicated fan base.
Yeah.
Because like they're like, okay, this is about space and sci-fi, so we can do a bunch of stuff with this. So they just do a bunch of offshoots, and I don't know if it's necessarily working out. I don't know how, like it just like they probably have like 10 Star Trek shows on Paramount Plus. I've never seen any of them. I've never seen anything Star Trek in general.
Yeah, same. I mean, I guess it's great if you're a Star Trek fan, but yeah, I'm not, so I have like no use for Paramount Plus.
I mean, I see a lot of Star Trek fans are probably acting in the same way as like Star Wars fans are to like all the Star Wars content coming out on Disney. Where it's just like some of it is like okay, some of it is pretty good, but a lot of it is just like, man, why do we need this?
The oversaturation, yeah.
I will say, for a streaming service named after Paramount Pictures, the movie selection on Paramount Plus is abysmal. They have nothing. They have nothing. It's mainly just TV shows, which is fine, but it's just like they renamed CBS All Access to Paramount Plus because CBS is associated with old people and Paramount Plus is like more for the kids. Like it's just oh damn,
all the kids are talking about Paramount.
Yeah, you see that recent Paramount movie? Oh man, I only watch Paramount movies. It's like that. Yeah. It's like that surface level like tweet that I see every now and then where they're just like, when you see this at the beginning of a movie, you know it's about to be great, and it's just the Warner Brothers logo, or it's like the Columbia logo. I'm just like, what does this mean? Like,
what are you talking about?
I think Paramount Plus has decent back catalog of stuff, but outside of that, the interface. I think you said the interface is just kind of like. Like it's just choppy. It's just a choppy feeling app on anything I try with it.
Yeah.
I'd give it a C. I'd put it around the Apple TV area.
Yeah, that sounds good.
What do you think about Disney Plus? The other Plus. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, a little mixed on Disney Plus. Like, I mean, on the one hand, it's very helpful for like my job because like my channel is like mostly talks about Disney stuff, so it's like really helpful to have around just to like go back in those movies and get footage and all that stuff. But like, just from a casual viewing perspective, I mean, still pretty good. Like the back catalog is incredible. Like so much, like any Disney movie you could ever want, plus Marvel and Star Wars. It's just the original content that I'm kind of mixed on. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of, they're just pumping out all these Marvel and Star Wars shows and like not much else, and they're just kind of iffy. So, I don't know. Like, I wish they would do more stuff that's not connected to a pre-existing IP, but I mean, they would never because it's Disney, so they like live for their brands, so.
I think the fact that Disney does technically own Hulu in addition to, obviously Disney Plus, it feels kind of weird how much like they're separated but also similar, like as in like Hulu I guess is for more of like the more mature stuff, but there's still a lot of kids stuff on Hulu. And then in addition you also have like they started putting the more like R-rated or mature like Marvel movies on Disney Plus. I saw they put like Logan and like Deadpool and all that kind of stuff on Disney Plus, which was kind of like a weird Like it was weird whiplash to see that on Disney Plus. Even though I know in like other countries they have like some of the more mature stuff that you'd see on Hulu on Disney Plus. But I feel like if Disney combined like their Hulu offerings and Disney Plus offerings, this might be the most incredible streaming service of all time. But the problem is, Disney needs to still have that, like somewhat Disney coda paint, and still be fairly family friendly, even if there's some more adult stuff on there, which still makes it kind of weird to see like The Simpsons is on there but not on Hulu, even though like there's like there was like some stuff on Hulu or something. Like it just always gets confusing. I should put ESPN Plus on here and see what both of us have to say about that, because that's the third tier.
Yeah, I know so much about sports, so yeah.
I think overall it does kind of feel like Disney is kind of taking every single one of their properties and is just trying to milk them for all it's worth on Disney Plus. Just always have new content coming out about these. Like instead of doing like, and they've always done this, it feels like instead of doing the direct to video sequels, instead it's just like, well, let's just do a remake of Pinocchio. And that just automatically seems much more appealing to the general audience, because instead of just a stupid little sequel, no, we're remaking it for the modern day, and it's beautiful with CGI, and it also doesn't make any damn sense, It's a weird movie. I did watch that movie without any knowledge on it before. That one was just strange.
Yeah, it's pretty miserable. Oh my god. Yeah, now I'm remembering like they aired like Mulan 2020 and Artemis Fowl on Disney Plus, and those are two of like the worst movies I've ever seen. So it's just like don't have a good track record.
It was weird. I forgot about that, how like they do the Disney Plus premium access thing or whatever it was. They did
like
for
$30 for
which is weird. Yeah, you'd have to pay $30 to access Mulan, but then they would release all like the latest Pixar movies on Disney Plus for free. That was just like, what is going on here?
Yeah, that just made no sense.
I think the first movie they did that with, Onward, happened like in March of 2020, and it like happened right before stuff went down.
Yeah, that was in
it went to it went to Disney Plus very shortly after, but Soul came out, like it launched on Disney Plus, and that was like one of the best Pixar movies of like the past like 10 years. It's just weird that they would value that at like, this is for you get this for free. And then like something like Raya and the Last Dragon or Mulan is like nah, you got to pay $30. $30. And was it a rental? Is it a rental? Like do you get anything for it other than just the movie for a little bit? What was that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you get like access to it like until it's available for like everybody on Disney Plus. So you can watch it as many times as you want, but eventually it'll be free for everyone on Disney Plus. So like it's just like early access basically. It's just like, why? Well,
I mean, imagine you get it for like early access for maybe a month. That's $1 a day to just keep watching, all those movies. This is perfect. I think that was a very strange thing, especially when it's just like, this is already a paid service, and then in addition to that, you have to pay more to watch this movie that realistically doesn't really have anything that makes it that much different other than Disney like wanting to make it like a premium thing. Like there's no premium elements of it compared to a lot of the other movies that Disney would like put out on Disney Plus first and foremost, free for like any user to watch. So it was just very strange, but I haven't really seen them do that nearly as much lately. I think overall the back catalog is really great on there, and I think they've done a pretty decent job of just kind of diversifying, where like I do feel like everybody has at least a little bit of something they care about on Disney Plus. If you love bad movies, they got all the Disney Channel originals on there. You can jam with Smart House like day in and day out. You can do Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. I can go on and on. That is that is like, if Tubi isn't giving me and my friends what we want, we'll be like, you know what? It feels like a DCOM tonight, a Disney Channel original movie. I think overall Disney Plus though, with the amount, like I do think you get a decent amount of value with it. I'd say high B, low A.
Yeah, I think I'm even leaning towards like low A. Like I like them. I don't like Disney the corporation, but I like the streaming service just fine.
Well, if you like Disney Plus, what do you think about Peacock? Is it the inverse where you love NBC, the corporation, but you hate Peacock?
I mean, I just have no strong feelings about NBC, and that's kind of the problem with Peacock, because, like, there's not really much, like, brand recognition there. Like,
None at all.
I don't know. I guess they have The Office, which is nice, but I don't know. It was better when that was just on Netflix. It was so much more convenient. Like, I'm not going to get a streaming service just for The Office.
That's the problem, because I think The Office got as popular as it did because it was on Netflix for so many years, and everybody that got Netflix, they would always hear it just like, oh man, the Office was just getting more and more popular, so it's just like, yeah, why not? I'll check this out. And that's how it got as popular as it is now. And locking it behind a streaming service that I feel like it was kind of built on the precedent that NBC was like, man, we have The Office, people love The Office, we're hot shit. That's pretty much why it was built, and I feel like it's just like, because of that, I haven't seen people nearly as much like talk about The Office lately. Now that might be because it's oversaturated and everybody's seen it at this point, and but still, like I feel like they kind of shot themselves in the foot, getting a little greedy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you could keep it on Netflix and make a ton off our merchandise sales and all of this stuff, but on Peacock, I feel like you're kind of locking it behind a far smaller community. I don't really know what kind of like original programming they have on Peacock other than like reboots of older NBC shows. I know they have like a Saved by the Bell reboot, a Fresh Prince reboot, and outside of that, like I can't really think of anything that's like, oh man, that's on Peacock. I know like the Community movie is going there.
So I'm just gonna get a free trial just to watch the movie and then cancel it right after, probably.
Oh man, you don't even have Peacock?
No.
Oh man.
I don't know. My friends have complained a lot about it though, so I've gotten the gist from them.
To be fair, they do have a free version that you can just use. Yeah, you can watch the first 2 seasons of The Office.
Oh wow.
That's it.
Isn't the first season only like 6 episodes too? Like
yes.
So it's really
30
not
episodes
really
of The Office or so.
It's nice to have that for free, I guess, but yeah, not a lot though.
But you got Tubi right over there.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
all free all the time.
Yeah.
I'm giving this a C. I think Peacock is the biggest. Like you're pushing things. Now we have our final 2 left. The big boys. HBO Max. Where does that go?
Like a few months ago, if you were to ask me that, I'd probably say it's the best streaming service, but then all this stuff came out about, like, them taking shows off as a tax write-off, and then just all this shit with Discovery, and just, it's a little rough. Like, I don't know, they had something great there, and it's slowly starting to crumble.
It's so lame to see that, because, like you said, I would say it was one of the best ones. They had some of the best regular, like, original content, and they were doing some cool stuff with, like, having movies come out day and day in theaters and on HBO Max. Which was really convenient. It was really nice. That was how I saw Space Jam 2. That was how I watched the first half of Matrix 4. And I think I think overall just the variety of content they had, that everything from like whatever DC stuff to HBO originals, Cartoon Network to Sesame Street stuff, like they have all this stuff on there. They have classic animations, Studio Ghibli. They just had all these different things, and I'd say it was probably like one of the best bang for your buck streaming services. But the problem is, like you were saying, like they're starting to remove things just to kind of label them as tax write-offs, and because of that, like it kind of writes a really scary future for media. And also, it's just not great for morale for the creators of these shows, the people that work so hard on them, to just see like people can barely even watch their shows anymore. Hopefully eventually, like they put them out on a different streaming service. Obviously, like with HBO Max, it's obvious they're looking to merge like HBO Max and like Discovery Plus into like one big thing, but HBO Max was already like a new thing that was like, oh, HBO's new streaming service. Now they're going to have a new streaming service on top of that. Like, it just, it feels like this nonstop thing where, like, these companies, and Paramount Plus was the same thing. It was just CBS All Access before this. And then they just turned it into that. And it just feels like this nonstop thing where these companies are just constantly rebranding and restructuring all their streaming services and all their things like this, and it's just kind of making it more confusing and more complicated for the consumer, because now like HBO Max had like HBO Max originals that they wholly own that they just removed from their service for no reason other than like they were like, well, we can get a tax write-off on this. And that's really scary for shows that are only streaming. Like, you know, like, there's no official way to really watch that anymore. So that is definitely a big problem. But HBO Max is still better than Peacock.
Yeah, one other thing with HBO Max is that their app constantly, like, crashed for me. Like, I was trying to, like, watch Succession on my phone, and, like, it would just keep freezing and keep crashing. So eventually I just gave up and went back to the computer. So the app's a little iffy.
I have a side question for you, because I'm one of those little gremlins who makes enjoying Better Call Saul most of his personality right now in terms of media consumption. So I caught a little bit of the latest of the 2022 Emmys, and Better Call Saul was snubbed again, and Succession kind of ran away with most of them. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with like Succession getting like I think it was outstanding writing and outstanding drama series again? Would you agree with that? Because all I saw on like social media and YouTube and all these places are people saying how like it's just like, this is ridiculous, blah blah blah. Nobody's ever heard of Succession, and I know you've watched it. So like, where do you lie on the Better Call Saul versus Succession debate? Because I've never seen Succession. I'm down to give it a try, but
I'd definitely say Succession does deserve the hype. Like, honestly, it's one of my top 10 like favorite shows at this point. Like, it is really good. I do think the Emmys went a little crazy with like the nominations. Like, they nominated like every guest actor who was ever in season 3 for like Emmys, and it's like, okay, there's other shows, guys, that you could spread the love to. Like, you know, Succession has already won Best Drama in the past, and I think like Better Call Saul with this final season especially, it was like really strong, and I think they should have given it something. Between the two, I did like Succession season 3 better than the first half of Better Call Saul season 6, but at the same time, like, come on, this show is so good. How has it not won an Emmy yet? How did Bob Odenkirk not get Best Actor? Like, it's a bit much.
I find it really wild that Better Call Saul never even got, like, I don't even think it ever even got nominated for cinematography. Like, ever. And that's really strange to me. Even just a nomination, because it is so good in that show. Even just, like, an outstanding writing credit, because Plan and Execution got that nomination.
That is one thing I think they should have won. Like, even though I like Succession better, like, and that last episode of Succession that won, that was a really strong episode, like one of the best. But Plan and Execution is just, I think, a little bit better. Like, that is absolutely one of the best episodes of TV that I've watched in general.
That show, and this is coming from somebody who's just like, how did Better Call Saul not win? And from somebody who has not seen Succession yet. So I don't know how much of this is really like my opinion, like makes my opinion valid at all. It doesn't at all. But it's just like, that show really does, like, when you watch that show, it really does make you realize like what good writing is. Every little bit, for the most part, is meaningful in that show and in Breaking Bad, where it's just like no scene is wasted. Every single character interaction is there for a reason, and it builds off of each other and leads into the next time they interact, or the next scene and the next episode, blah 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 blah. It is just really, really just it's powerful, and it turns, I think anybody that watches it who wants to like actually start writing, like I've noticed, like, it's just like, if I would ever want to write an actual like movie or TV show or anything like that, and I had absolutely no integrity, man, that would be easy. That would be so easy. There's so much garbage out there. I'm like, if I just didn't care, I could do it. HBO Max, I think it gets a high B, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll put it around the Hulus.
Would have been an easy A if it wasn't for all this shit with the tax write-offs and Discovery and I don't know, it doesn't look good.
So we're ending it off on the big boy, the one that started it all, Netflix. Where does Netflix go?
I'd say still near the top. Like, I mean, it's pretty like hip nowadays to like shit on Netflix and say, oh yeah, they keep making all these bad decisions, which like yeah they do, but I don't know, like I still go on Netflix the most out of all these services. I feel like there's always something there to watch, like some sort of like show. Like this is where I watched a lot of legacy shows like Community, Arrested Development, Seinfeld, even like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I watched most of on Netflix. And then like they still have some good originals, like Stranger Things is still big, and then there's like Squid Game, pretty good. Shouldn't have won Best Actor over Bob Odenkirk, but you know.
Damn, we're bringing this back up again. All right, I can keep talking about Better Call Saul at the Emmys. No, I think, yeah, I think Netflix has the biggest reach, obviously, and has the best variety of content. I think if you need one streaming service, I think it just makes sense to be Netflix. It does seem very unsustainable, though, how much content Netflix pumps out when, like, half of, like, a lot of, like, what makes these streaming services so appealing is the fact that, like, hey, Netflix is making original content. That's their content. They just own that, and they can just make their streaming service better and better and better because, like, it's not like that content goes away, like, without HBO Max, but it's you know, like, it's just there. A Netflix original is just a Netflix original. So it's just kind of weird to see, like, you know, I go to the homepage and, you know, it is algorithm based, but there's only like the same 20 shows and movies that I see every time I open up, where I kind of wish that they focused more on just showing stuff that, even if it's a couple years old, and they do this, but, you know, I do consistently see the same stuff over and over again, but it's just like, you know, just show more variety. They have, like, thousands, possibly thousands, probably more so in the hundreds, but hundreds of original pieces of content that it just sits in their archive, sits on their servers that you can still watch, but they don't really show off and advertise much. And it just kind of feels like something that I think will eventually hit a crash with these streaming services. I think that's very obvious, and it'll start whittling down until we're down to like 2 or 3 again. I do think the variety Netflix has, it has a great variety of original content, and also you also get the you know, the licensed content, you know, the stuff that's from other companies that comes on there. You even get stuff from, like, owned by Paramount, Viacom, and randomly they'll just have like 2 seasons or something on there just to kind of give you a little taste. Make you go, it's just like, oh damn,
yeah.
I need to get Paramount Plus. But overall, I think it's the safest bet of a streaming service. You can always log on Netflix and you always find something.
Like, definitely not as good as it used to be, but, like, honestly still pretty good. Like, there's always something, and there's still new stuff that interests me, like new originals. So, yeah. I mean, they do make a ton of public mistakes. Like, I think that one live-action Cowboy Bebop show, they poured, like, all that money into and, like, advertising, and then they just canceled it after 1 season because it was so bad. Like, it's rough, but at least that's like funny when they fail. Like when HBO Max does terrible to its shows, it's just depressing.
Yeah.
But Netflix, it's at least kind of funny.
Yeah. So I think Netflix is in the Tubi tier.
Yeah.
I think it sits right next to Tubi.
Yeah.
If I could have 2 things in life, it would be Netflix and Tubi.